Hello, this is a free call from
Gypsy Blanchard.
an offender at the Chillicothe Correctional Center.
This call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free call, thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Why'd you hang up on me?
Yeah, you did. You hung up on me.
I did not. I was
Yes,
talking
you
about
did.
how I wanted to kill this phone. I was like, I feel hostile. I'm a bit homicidal towards this phone. Is it wrong to kill a phone?
Well, yeah, I've just been waiting for you to call me back because I wish I could call you, but I can't. But
I know. Okay, so
anyway,
no one...
I feel like you should know about this. And if you don't want to listen to it, that's fine. We can move on. But like I don't know. Your mom sends me this stuff, and I pulled it up, and I was like, she's like, Ken, watch this, and it's just a 25-minute phone interview with Nick. And
Damn, that's a lot.
I don't know if you want to hear that or not, but I can play it if you want to, or if not, that's fine too. You tell me.
I'll probably hear some of it. Not all.
It's hard to understand what the fuck he's saying. I can't. I feel like his sentences are just not put together very well. But whatever. I'll put it on. Okay. All right. Hold on.
Due to the love that I felt that was equally shared between me and Gypsy Blanchard. However, I've learned that as of late that she may have just been using me, which is sad because I felt it was much more real than that at the time. Actually, as for the illnesses part, I found that out almost shortly after me and her first started talking on Facebook, which went from a Christian dating site known as ChristianDatingForFree.com, and we were on there for maybe a few days, and then went from there to, next thing you know, Facebook. It's really weird because I went from just trying to get to know her on one site to being willing to pretty much open myself up like a full open book to where once we got to the other one, and I'm still confused on why that happened that way, but it did. And when it happened that way, I almost instantly learned about the medications. Of course, I learned that not all of them are actually fully what she was actually supposed to be taking. Most of them are all just stuff that her mom was forcing her to take that was by far needed. I did feel as if Gypsy was going through there was the abuse or the abuse of being forced to be staying in a chair, or even the abuse of her being stuck in a room for so long because her mom would be doing things in a physical abusive way, like chaining her to a bed, or even other physical abuse, like her being beaten with really anything her mom could find. And all this stuff I felt sitting there, I felt like as if, unfortunately, I didn't think anyone would come to her call. If you tried to go to the police, they would have, due to the way that her mom was making her betray to look, she would have basically looked as a lunatic that no one would believe due to what her mom was putting in everyone else's head. So she felt like it was a non-escapable path upon it. She needed someone to understand her enough to be willing to basically risk their life for her, which is unfortunate that had to go the way it did. Because originally I wanted to just run away with her, but she kept on persisting on this alternative thing that really didn't seem to pan out in the way that it never was obviously meant to. Yep. Since she had warned me that she's tried it twice before, and she's only mentioned one of those times in the media. The other, apparently she almost got close to killing her mother, but however, she couldn't do it. She was attempting to do it mainly for someone that she had an infatuation with, and, well, she found out later that it was just infatuation, but yet the person keeps using her to this day, so, yeah, it's very sad. Well, it's unfortunate because it's the way that she was brought up. She was brought up to lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. She was brought up to basically play the victim role. That's the way she was brought up. She's only doing what she was taught. Believe me, she was brought up in a much more better environment, much more better people around her. Not just her mom always around her. I was pretty much holding her down for who she could really be. I can almost guarantee she would have never asked me that dreadful question. It's a severely unfortunate situation because even now, even after she basically is admitting to everyone in the media that she was basically using me to get rid of her mother, which is very, very, very not only evil thing to even admit right on, which I still to this day, well, I kind of wish she would have admitted earlier because, well, I was mainly the one person who was trying to make her a better person while her mom was trying to keep her the way that she was. And that's part of the reason why now I feel more of a slap in the face. Because, yeah, it's one of those situations where you feel that you have done all you could for the person, and if the person doesn't want to feel appreciation towards you for all you've tried to do for them, then I guess it's one of those stones you gotta throw into the water and move forward, unfortunately. You make it as if loosen the load that you're having to hold upon. Basically, an analogy is basically what I'm using. However, now I been slowly and trying the best I can to heal from the situation, and from everything I have been trying to get over and get through, it's been a rough road. I will not deny it has not been. It has. But I know that within time always heals, so I'm hopeful that it will. That's the thing with me is that I feel has actually, sad, it's so sad. She, yes, maybe about the same amount I was maybe trying to attempt to get. I'm still trying to get 15, and that's where I still stand. I'm still trying to get that. I would have been happy if me and her would have had the same exact amount of time. I'm not one of those people where I'm going to be trying to wish her a life sentence or any crap like that like she did to me. I'm not a conniving person like that. It's just not in my blood. It's not in my genetics. It's not who I am. But that's part of the reason why when she does what she does, I can't blame her. I can only understand that that's the way she was brought up. But me personally, if we would have both gotten 15, I would have felt it was fair. Since she's gotten 10 and I'm still trying to at least get 15, really, yeah, exactly. It's a pretty hard road to get to that point, but God willing, it should for sure happen. Well, there's two parts of it. One, I was planning on using my mental disability, which is clearly documented from multiple psychiatrists and ones who have studied psychology. So really, I mean, I have a therapist from when I was 15 years old who said because they had family member who was one with Asperger's syndrome, they were the first ones to mention when I was 15 years old that I had that, and I didn't have the more form of severe of autism. I didn't have that, and I didn't have anything less either. So really, with that being said, um, I learned of that term, and then I ended up having to look it up to learn more about certain patterns and everything else. And once I learned about it, I started noticing things about myself that did match in with it. And then the next time it happened was in 2009 when I was trying to receive Social Security benefits from SSI. And I was accepted on that too because the psychiatrist that the state hired of Wisconsin could not find anything of me faking it or anything else because it was just really how I was. And that's two of them, and then you move forward to 2015, and I believe it was December of that year, I ended up seeing another doctor, and then move forward in 2016, see another one. So they all have admitted I have it, but the prosecution's defense is trying to make it seem as if I only have level 1 when I actually have level 2, which requires some supervision, not heavy supervision, just enough to where they're making sure I'm not getting into any trouble, basically, which now I understand that now when it's been a bit too late. The second one would be basically manipulation. The second reason would be manipulation is I will not deny it because she's done it for so long to the entire public. And that's part of the reason why the public is having a hard time believing what she's saying. She was obviously trained by the very best before her mind unfortunately passed away. Her mom taught her very well how to basically master manipulation, master lying, master deceiving great audiences of people. And because of it, she knows what she's doing when she lies. Unfortunately, she's very, very good at it to the point where people won't know that she's lying to them just because she can do it without any conscience at all, which to this day boggles my mind. But because of that master of manipulation that she is able to do, she had no problems manipulating the situation. I wish I would have known it was more manipulation than love, because if I would have known that, I probably wouldn't have been in the situation I'm in. And I probably wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation. But yeah, the only regret I have is basically not seeing the signs that stuff was not in a good light to unfold. That's basically what I have mainly regrets of. The only thing I don't regret is getting her out of that situation. I regret, however, the way that I had to get her out of the situation, but I don't regret getting her out of it. If I would have been able to run away with her, I wouldn't have any regrets at all. But due to me finding out, well, that she was using me, I maybe do regret putting my heart out there. But in another way, I don't regret it only because it has made me a stronger person. As they always say, So, yeah, it has made me a stronger person. I will say, however, that when it comes to how I feel about her now, I still love her to this day. That's never going to change. I will always love her. I promised her that I would never change. I'd always unconditionally love her. I always will. If she wanted to be friends with me, I'll be fine with it. If she didn't,
Fuck no.
I'm fine with it too. I'm one of them type of people where I try to be as happy-go-lucky as possible. I try not to let everything bother me too easily. However, being in a place like I am, it's not easy to do. And, well, even people in here ask how I stay so positive. I think, for one, my mom's always told me before I ended up coming down here to Springfield and got stuck down here like I am now. She's always been telling me all the time that she was video visiting me up in Wisconsin that she's strong like I am and I can handle this and I'll be fine, and basically would give me the support I never had throughout almost my entire life. The emotional support I never thought I'd ever receive from her. So, yeah, that, and then you also have the support of my father, which to this day I still talk to every once in a while. So, every little support I've gotten has been able to keep me from basically losing my mind, which every little support I have, I definitely appreciate, and I never take anything for granted, no matter how it comes in its form. I never do, because I know that every day you never know if you'll be gone the next. It has to be one of those days where you take it as it comes and appreciate everything you can within that day, whether it's just living in general, and move forward. And that's the way I perceive it all.
Okay.
Yes. I promised her that I was over, and
Still
I do.
5
Still
more
love
minutes left if you want to hear it.
However, I'm not in love with
Hold on. Oops.
her since I could love different. Due to what she's done, it has killed my romance that me and her had, and move forward. And that's the way I perceive it all. Yes. I basically promised her that I would always love her, and it's true, I do. I still love her. But, however, due to what she's done, it has killed my romance that me and her had between each other. And that's mainly where I stand. I still love her, but I'm not in love with her. Well, I had it as no secret to her. I was basically like an open book to her. She knows that everything from little details like whatever was her height. I mean, I've always been more fond of the shorter women. There's no secret to that. I've always been fond of the shorter ones just because that's just my preference. However, that along with everything else about it. Originally, obviously, she created these perfect personalities that would attract me to her and keep her basically to where she didn't have to worry about me being disinterested at some point. And she kept my attention creating all these things. And it's unfortunate because who knows if they're all real. Till this day, I'm not fully sure they even are. Nope. And I choose not to be due to court situations, since she's considered a witness now. Nope. No. Well, the only thing I would really tell her is that, you might have betrayed me and turned your back on me, but that's not going to stop me from loving you. I'm always going to love you, whether you want to accept it or not. I'm always going to love you. Even if you don't want to accept that, that's your choice. But if we still want to keep our friendship, we can keep our friendship. I just don't want nothing any more damaging to get between us than what has already has transpired. If you don't want to be my friend, I'm perfectly okay with that. Just know, though, that no matter what happens, you always have someone that loves you, even if you never believe that you do. Basically, just let her know that she will always have someone who loves her. I might not be willing to the extreme that I was manipulated to at this point, but I still would be willing to do other things where as long as they're much more smaller than what has happened. Because I'm now in a more cautious position than I originally was before. And now I feel as if she needs to basically really think about what's going on more before she speaks. Because even though she might not be able to get tried for any more charges and so forth, she's basically trying to do what she's trying to for her public image. And really, there are facts out there that aren't very good about her. And that's part of the reason why I only caution her with the way that she perceives herself to the public. Me, I'm just going to be my real self. I'm not going to perceive myself as someone I'm not. And if the public accepts me that way, they accept me that way. If they don't, well, I'll accept it as if I'm a nobody. That's totally fine with me. I'm humble as they get, so it doesn't bother me. Well, Asperger's syndrome is very well documented, whether it's there's studies or even websites dedicated to it. I mean, there's symptoms, I guess you would call, of the actual syndrome. That one of them, ironically, is being gullible to people's opinions. Very easily, actually, in fact. And I've actually been gullible almost all my life. It is something I will admit. I have been gullible almost all my life. Like I've slowly been getting more and more wise as I age, but it's a very slow process due to Asperger's. For me, the best way I can describe it is alien disability. I was in special education while I was growing up. Almost throughout my entire high school, elementary, middle school, all those type of years. I was through a special education. Originally, they had me listed as a severe form of autism, meaning autism itself, and then they lowered it down to just being a higher functioning form, what's known as Asperger's syndrome. So, due to the intelligence of those with my disability, we can seem so normal, but yet we still have certain symptoms of it. Like, for example, if I get put under too much pressure, my mind can go blank and I won't know what to say, or other things of that nature. Yeah. I barely knew anything about that part of me until, well, what happened? I mean, well, the first time I was aware of it and it freaked me out was me being around 14, 15 years old. And I seen a glimpse of something in my eye and I didn't know what it was. It was just like a glimpse of something in my eye, and then I felt as if
2 minutes left.
What do you call it? A dreadful feeling came upon me as if something wasn't right. And it was almost like whatever it was that I noticed in my eye, it was almost like something knowing and letting me know that I was to be aware of it being around. And at the time, it was just a dreadful feeling that I didn't understand because I was so young. But I basically tried to get Gypsy to be willing to explore that part of me for me to understand it better without letting it get out of control. And then she, instead of just explored it in a conditioned way where it wouldn't be out of control, she ended up taking advantage of it. So, she ended up angering it more and more, with basically revoking it that it wouldn't do certain things and so forth. And they used it as an advantage. The only other thing I want to say is that I do have my heart go out to all of the deceased family for what happened to their daughter or sister or aunt, and I wish this would have ended a much more less drastic way than it did. But just let everyone know that I appreciate this opportunity and thank you. Yep, thank you.
All right, that's it.
God damn it, I need a cigarette. Well, he wasn't lying about how I used to be. Like, he had it pretty spot on. I did used to lie without conscience, and that's how I was. And it took a long, long time to change.
When you say that you used to lie without conscience, like, what kind of lies?
I don't know. I mean, I think, I mean, the perfect example, I guess, would have to be whenever Mom and Dad had came visit me for the first time while I was in jail. And I told them, I had no idea. I'm not a part of it. I didn't do anything. I'm innocent. Whenever that was a lie. And whenever they came to my preliminary hearing, and they saw all the evidence against me, and they just knew, oh my God, she just lied to us. Like, she is a part of it. And I think from, like, that day on, I kind of realized that, you know, my mom had taught me so well how to lie and just be numb to lying. Like, most people, they feel like something bad in the pit of their stomach when they lie. And I didn't. Like, I could tell a lie and it just be like me talking. It would be nothing. And, I mean, now I had to really, really work on that because it was like a drug addict that's trying to get sober. Or, you know, a drinker that's trying to get sober. It's like, it'll trickle off, and you might stumble into a lie or something, and then somebody would find out, and then you'd relate. Lie gets you trouble. Lie gets you, you know, people, they look at you with dishonesty, or dishonest eyes. They don't believe you.
Right.
So, me relating that, because before, you know, I would get away with the lie. So there was no consequence to the lie. And now that there is, I started to learn, like, if I lie, I'm going to get in trouble. If I lie or keep secrets or something, it's going to be all bad. And I just made that choice for myself. Like, I don't want to be that way anymore. I'm changing. And, like, even Mom could tell you, like, in a couple of interviews they did, they were like, well, we catch her in little lies here and there, and that was in the beginning. Now, if anything, God, I'm too honest. Like, I've shared some TMI moments with Mom. You know, but it's like I do my best to not be that way anymore. And I think I've done a really good job. I mean, I can't blame Nick for
How do you feel about Nick now? Like, just honestly, like, what do you feel about him? How do you feel about him? And what do you want for him in his future? Just wholeheartedly, like, how do you feel about the guy?
To be honest, I feel like hearing that interview gives me a little closure, knowing that he regrets what he did. I mean, he doesn't regret getting me out of the situation, but he regrets how he got me out of it. That lets me have some closure. I guess I feel pity for him. I'm like, if he really is, you know, I mean, you've seen videos and whatever. I mean, like, he's not retarded, But if he has some sort of mental issue, then I do feel sorry for egging.
Oh, he's definitely got a mental issue. He definitely has something, impairment with him.
I mean, I do feel responsible for egging on the issue, and I feel like we were two children that came up with this idea and had no idea of the consequences that would come of it. Because it's not like I was out in the real world. It's not like he was out in the real world. So I think we're just...
Do you think that if he got the same sentence as you, like if he got 10 years or whatever, and you guys got released at the same time, that you would ever see him again?
No. I don't want to be anywhere around him. You know, it's not healthy. I'm appreciative of the wishful thoughts and stuff. All I can say about him is, like, I can't wish him, harm or anything. I don't want to wish him harm. I'm numb to the situation. I'm numb to him. Like, I don't feel anything. Like, you go your way, I go mine. Let me live my life. You go live yours. And, chalk it up to, fuck, that was a bad idea. Bigger girl.
I mean, judging by this one interview, one could be sympathetic towards him.
Yeah.
But when I take into account a lot of the other details that I haven't forgotten, like the abuse, the physical, verbal abuse that he put you through, and the kind of person he was, like, kind of sexually demented and just demented as a person altogether, and the things that he said. I mean, in the documentary, they kind of explore that a little bit more. The things that he said and did to you were pretty abusive and pretty manipulative on his own. So taking all of that into account, I don't really feel that bad for him, because I still think that it takes a certain screw to be loose mentally to be able to do what you did. I understand you might have good reasons, as to why you did what you did or whatever. I'm sure a lot of people that commit the same crime he did had reasons as to why they thought it was justified. Like, everybody has their reasons. Nobody just fucking does what he did for no reason. Everybody's got reasons as to why they think it was okay or why they think it was justified or whatever. And so taking all that into account, it's still hard for me to sympathize for him. I understand that he may feel bad for what he did now, but there are millions of people who are in his situation that feel bad for what they did. And is it because they actually feel bad for what they did, or is it because they feel bad because they're in jail now and they are forced to be confronted with what they did is what they did? Now, I can't speak for him. I have no idea what's going on in his head. You can watch the interview and you can agree with what he's saying or disagree with what he's saying. I don't know.
Or he could even be coached into saying these things from his attorney. I don't know.
For sure, absolutely. Because it's why I separate you from him in such a huge degree. It's because it's one thing to ask somebody, and it's one thing to physically carry out the deed. And in order to do that, I just don't think that wanting to set you free from this abuse is enough reason to actually do that. Because when I think about myself, I think I'm pretty. I mean, I don't have autism. I have no idea what's going on in his head. Obviously, we have different heads. But if it were me and I was the Nick at the time, I would have just come and picked you up and taken you out of there in the dead of night, and we would have just never looked back, and we would have figured something out. I would have coached you out of it. I would have coached you out of these ideas. This is what a normal person would have done. Obviously, there's something wrong with him that went along with it, agreed to it, even provoked it to do it that way. I think a part of him wanted to do it. Just judging off the text messages that I saw, the text evidence, all that, there was something within him that was fascinated by doing that. So I think that now his only card that he has left to play is "Feel Bad for Me," the "Feel Bad for Me" card. So now he's going to, say, oh, I was manipulated, and oh, I just wanted to set her free, and oh, I just wanted her to be happy, and this and that, because he wants the public to sympathize for him and the jury to sympathize for him. That's what I honestly believe, because there was plenty of time for him to think this through. It wasn't like it was on the day of that he just decided, okay, let's do this. It was weeks and weeks and weeks of him thinking about it, planning it and giving you the details. And so because of that, I can see through that bullshit mask that he is playing the sympathy card and the victim card, and that he's the one that you should feel bad for, and blah, 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 because that's all he has left. He's got no other thing. He's got nothing else to play. And he's hoping for a life sentence.
Responsibility for what I've done too, because I'm not.
Well, I know you do, babe. I know you do.
Oh no, it's all him. It was totally all him.
It's not. I know that. I know that. I know that. I know that it's not all him. I understand that you had a piece of it as well, but I think that your reasoning and your understanding of it was totally different than his was, and that's why I can't put you and him in the same light, because after studying multiple sides and reports and videos and articles and documentaries and TV shows and everything I've seen, nothing has swayed me, because I can imagine what it's like to be where you were, because you were the actual victim of the situation by the hands of your mother, and I just believe that he had different motives than you did. And it's why I can't group you two together. It's why the courts can't group you two together. That's why you guys weren't tried the same, because you both just have totally different situations and circumstances as to where your heads were at when you decided that this is the best option. And
there's something you don't know. There's something you don't know, and there's something that no one knows that I've been keeping secret for a long time, and only Nick knows about it.
What is it?
In 2011, I wanted to run away again, and I had packed my things, and I hid my bag in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one night, my mom feels like I'm going to run away again. So she goes in the living room, and she finds my bag. She calls me over, and I'm freaking out because I had just got caught again, and this is after the whole chain me to the bed thing. And so I was just starting to build up trust again, and I was going to attempt to run away again. Well, that failed, and I freaked out. She was coming to hit me, and things were going to get physical. And so there was a BB gun on the kitchen table, and I grabbed it, and it all happened so fast that I just grabbed it, and she started to walk toward me, and I started shooting, and I shot about 10 BBs at her, and it ended up in her leg, and it didn't do much but just a flesh wound, but I was so scared, and then I kept telling her, just let me go, please just let me go, I'll leave and I'll never come back. And so then I chased her into the bathroom, because I was going to lock her in the bathroom, and I had a knife in my hand too. So I had the knife in my hand, and I had the gun that I had just ordered all the bullets out of, and we stayed in the bathroom for about an hour, and she tried to talk me down, and she did.
This call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
But I still had that wanting. I wasn't gonna hurt her really.
Babe, listen to me. Just listen to me for a second. I think that you did what anybody else in the world would do when you're trapped in a corner and you only see one way out. And I just think that being in the place that you were at and you wanted to get away so bad because you realized that what you were going through, and this was your villain. This was the person who was against you. This was the person who was countering your chance at a happy, normal life. And to grab that BB gun and shoot her a couple times, you know, like it was just like an attempt at just like showing her like that you wanted out, that you wanted to be independent and you could be. And you know, like even hearing that, it doesn't change anything, because at least in my mind, and having her lock you, like having y'all sit in the bathroom and talk it through, it's her just furthering trying to manipulate you to benefit her. That's all that you were to her, was a benefit for her. And you're your own person, and you're so fucking smart, and like you're not as dumb as she wanted you to be. She wanted you to be dumb, and she wanted you to be innocent, and she wanted you to be helpless and careless, because she could be the person to pick up all those pieces. But the fact of the matter is that you weren't that. You weren't dumb. You weren't helpless. You're incredibly fucking smart, and you're incredibly articulate, and you're incredibly capable, and that made her fucking furious. And that's why it wasn't her trying to talk you down. It was just her trying to further manipulate you into suckering into the role that she needed you to be for her own benefit. And that's why that I don't blame you at all for wanting to get away. And you tried so many times. You tried so many different ways, and you know, and unfortunately, it led you to the situation that you're in now. But babe, I've always understood since day one, you know, where you were at and what your manner of thinking was, and that's never going to change. And just, it breaks my fucking heart. It really does. It breaks my fucking heart. But just know that, like, I understand. I really do understand. I really do get it. And I just wish that things could have been different, but I'm happy that it's over, somewhat, anyway. The abuse is over. And I wish that the courts could have recognized it, but they didn't. But it's why I love you so much, because I really understand. I really understand what you had to go through.
I'm just happy that you understand, because I mean, I was gonna tell you about it eventually, but
why do you hold things back from me? Like, why do you? I know that you think that things are gonna change my mind or sway my opinion, but they're not going to. That is that. You've told me that. You told me that in a letter once.
There's a time for things. It's not like I'm just going to be, oh, yeah, by the way, did I tell you about that time I shot my mom with a BB gun? You know, there's time for things. And, you know,
all that shows me is that oh, my God, it's like, I take your side even more knowing that, because honestly, and I've told you that I don't want to speak negatively of her, but I think that she's one of the most horrible people I've ever heard of. But I understand that she was the biggest person in your life. She was your mother. You guys have many, many memories from childhood to up until you were 23. So I understand that she was a very significant, if not the only significant person of your entire life. Mm-hmm. So you have good and bad memories, but all I have is what I've seen and what I've heard, and she's a complete villain to me, because I know that her intent was solely selfish for her own gain, and the fact that she forced you into a corner with a BB gun to the point where you were so desperate to get away that you shot, you know, non-lethal BBs at her just to show her, like, I want out. It just further makes me, it puts me more on your side than ever. I just wish that there was something I could have done. I wish I could have known. I wish there was something that somebody else could have known or somebody else could have done. Like, how did this go on for this long? How did nobody notice? How did nobody take account? How did these doctors get away with this? How did all of this happen? Like, it's so fucked up. It's so fucking fucked up.
Have you ever
and it blows
seen the
my
movie?
fucking mind.
Have you ever seen the movie Lemony Snicket's The Series of Unfortunate Events?
Yeah.
Doesn't it remind you of that? Like one thing after another.
Just one thing. Yeah. Yeah, just no happy ending. But you know, I mean, I think that the worst is over, babe. The worst is over. and you survived and you made it through the worst, because odds are if things would continue the way they did, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. Like, I mean, who knows how things would have turned out, but you were a slave to her, and you got rid of your captor. I think that the good girl prevailed, and the villain got what she deserved. And it's hard for me to admit that to you, because I understand you have ambivalent feelings about it, but
I know.
this is my perception.
I know.
And
you're just saying that because you've known me, for almost a year, so you know how my personality is, you know who I am as a person. And, I mean, God, if someone would do that to you, I'd be highly, highly freaking hateful towards them, too. So, I get
Yeah.
But things are just, they're better now. And I thank God every day. Like, I know it's so freaking cliche, I found religion in freaking prison. But, I mean, I was always religious, though. But it's like my faith really, really was restored whenever I got blessed with a second chance. Because I felt, how awful would that be? Lock me away for the rest of my life after everything that I've been through. And it feels like I've spent my whole life just fighting to get out of a cage, fighting to be free. And to just be locked up in a very, solid, actual prison would have just been fucked up. So, I mean, I'm thankful to God every day for giving me that second chance and for giving me a family, giving me my father back in my life and giving me, a new mother, the mother that I've always really wanted, someone that's supportive.
And she loves you so much.
Right.
Mother, I mean, Christy is an actual mother. She loves you so much.
Right. She's
and
a good
I love you so much.
She's protective in a good way, and I mean, like, God knows, I guess, my quest to find true love has not been an easy one by any means. And I guess just like when I wasn't looking for it, God was like, okay, well, you might be in prison, but here you go. Here's this wonderful, handsome, sweetheart of a man. There you go. Just bless me with something else.
It's so funny because it's the same for me. It's like I wasn't looking for anything, for a long time, and then here you come, and it's just like I think that you're just such an amazing, amazing person, and you've touched me in ways that nobody else has, and I couldn't be happier to know that we have a future, even with the obstacles and everything. Like I just know this is gonna be great. I don't even look at it. I look past all that, and we're gonna make it the best that we can. And I love you so much, and I'm always gonna be here. Even though you send me letters sometimes saying that you wonder if things are going to change my mind or, like, sway my opinion or something. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? No, absolutely not. I've heard all there is to hear. I've seen all there is to see. And 110% of the time, I'm always on your side. And I stand with you, hand in hand, side by side, because I understand what you had to do and what you had to endure. And we can just put all that in history and look forward to a brighter future. And that's all that matters. It's what's ahead, not what's behind you, but what's ahead of us. And you did the same for me. You did the same for me. You look past all my negative history, and that's why I love you so much.
You're perfect. You might think that you're just a normal guy, but you're perfect in every way, not just the sense of perfect to me, but you're perfect in general too. Like, I don't think you realize how amazing you really are. I'm serious.
Oh, you're talking too much. You're talking too much.
Hey, you said that you liked it when I talk. No, I'm serious.
I like your voice.
I'm serious. You have been such a blessing in my life, and I know I sound like a broken record when I say that, but I'm serious. I'm like, does he honestly know that there's, like, every guy that I've ever met has been, like, such a dumbass and lying and deceitful, users, abusers, cheaters, and God, just pre-both, like, I have never had a good relationship. And there's always just been, it doesn't fit, it doesn't work, this isn't right, it's an infatuation, blah, blah, blah. There's always some reason that it just didn't work. And this is the first relationship that I'm actually truly happy that it's not an infatuation. I really do love you and care about you and want to see you happy. And I would walk through heaven and hell to stand with you side by side.
I love you so much. I love you so fucking much. And I tell everybody this all the time. I tell your mom this all the time. I just tell everybody about this, like, how much of my heart you belong in, and just how much of my world. I don't know. You have been one of the best things in my entire life, and I can't wait to see what the future brings for the both of us. And it's just right around the corner, and I'm so fucking excited, and I just love you to death. And
I love you to death, too.
I can never stop talking about you, and just how amazing and how much you mean to me, to everybody I know.
Aww. Well, I do the same for everybody I know, too. Like, both my best friends, Chrissy and Rachel, they both know about you. My cousin knows about you. Well, clearly everybody knows much now. But by me just talking about you, a lot of the people that are closest in my life, they know about you, and they approve. I think my great auntie or something looked you up on Facebook, and she approved or something. She's like, he's handsome. I was like, I know. but I'm happy that we're getting to, move forward and have.
I don't want you to ever think that. Like, I'm missing out, or that I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing, or that I'm lacking something. Because the truth is, it's just not true. Like, I have everything I want with you. Everything I want with you, and that's just like another somebody to paddle with, who I can love and make memories with, and make a future with. And even if you are where you are now, it's okay. I mean, it's not a factor to me, because you're the real prize. And if there's a waiting period of time, I can make it through it, because I've grown too close to you and fallen too much in love with you to just let it go because of that reason. So I'm always here for you, man. Always here for you.
And I'm always here for
you. No matter what.
Even though you can't call me, I'm always here for you. Unfortunately, it could be here right now because they're closing the day room. But once I get my tablet, things will be easier because I can just text you all the time.
Well, I wish you could be here with me right now. There's nothing more that I want in the world than just, like, cuddle and snuggle with you and just watch a movie and just have you in my arms.
That would be amazing.
Lay your head on my chest and. Yeah.
Okay, now you're just making me get hot. Okay, I gotta go. I love you. Have a good night. I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, you're hanging up with me now?
I'm sorry, they're closing the day room. I gotta go.
Okay, all right.
I love you.
I love you too. I love you too. When are you gonna call me again?
Text Mom your days off, and that way I'll know when to call you next.
Okay, babe. Well, I love you so much. Okay, have a good night.
You too. I'm gonna go dream of you now. Okay, I love you.
I never stop thinking of you. All right, okay, bye.
The caller has hung up.